The dialogue of this meeting will be between the mayor, council, and staff members only. The time for citizens' input involvement will come at the regular meeting to be held next Tuesday during the citizens' input proportion of the meeting. We respectfully ask that you hold your comments or any questions until that time unless called upon. Once the meeting is adjourned, we ask that everyone exit the meeting and the property in a timely manner. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 1.
Item number 1 is update City of Lewisburg capital note and capital projects from City Treasurer Alan Owens.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. Attached to your agenda are 2 items. These are items that we discussed at the last Budget Committee meeting. The first is a schedule that shows the transactions for the 2025 capital improvement note. Just kind of go through it real briefly. It shows that the proceeds of $1,530,000 that were deposited back in September. It shows at the time we did this report only 2 months of interest, October, November. We should have December's posted very soon. But that brought the balance up to $1,540,000. Down below, we have transfers for certain expenditures, some of the major expenditures for the recreation dehumidifier. Hobbs and Associates, $222,394. Merriman Farr, $230,563 for a total of $452,957, which brings that available balance down to $1,087,208. We also have road paving. At the time when I did the report, $137,100 had been expended. That would bring the available balance down to $950,108. We have future projects. The balance of road paving, we had $300,000 budgeted, minus $137,100 that's been completed. That gives us a balance of $162,900 to be spent. And then the 2 big ones, we have the 3rd Avenue drainage, $485,250, and taxiway apron rehabilitation, $333,750. So those items, especially the last 2 big ones, will probably more than likely not be done in this fiscal year. So when you see, if you subtract all of these items and projected items, we actually have a negative amount, $31,791. But as we continue to earn interest on these proceeds that are invested at the local government investment pool, I would not be surprised to see by the time those large projects are completed that most of that shortfall of $31,000 will be earned, offset by future interest income. So I think we're on track with what we had planned with the capital note and getting things accomplished. So with that, if you have any questions, be happy to answer them regarding the capital note. Yes, ma'am?
Mr. Owen, the 3rd Avenue drainage project,
Yes, ma'am.
485,
Yes.
that's kind of an old quote. Do we have confidence in that number?
Until we get an actual bid that comes in, ma'am, can't speak to that, what that number will be.
But we are going to get another bid before we start the job?
Well, we'll
Or
go out for a bid. Yeah,
it will
it has
be
to
done
be,
by an
my
external
understanding, the
source?
engineer is working on design criteria, bid specifications at this time. So we won't really know what the final real cost will be until such time it goes out for bid. So, yeah, that's just like you
As far as I
said.
know, the plans have not been completed.
Yeah, so, but you're right, it is an older estimate that was done probably over a year ago.
The real
Thank you.
scary part of that is going under the railroad, what you know,
Right.
that's an unknown that
Okay.
might become more expensive, but we don't know.
And
till
that's a
we-
fairly lengthy process, I believe, dealing with the railroad to get
Oh,
permits.
yeah,
So,
it's like
so
pulling
that-
teeth.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're out of Jacksonville and they're
yeah.
hard to deal with. Further questions? Thank you, Alan.
Okay, and then the second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you,
No, I'll be happy to
No,
cut
no,
it off at that if you'd like, but.
I thought you asked for any questions. I thought you
no.
were through, I'm sorry.
No, but the last is just the second related to that, or is a status report on various capital projects that were budgeted this current year. I'm not going to go through every single item, but I can just summarize by saying that staff has been very busy, especially in the recreation area, getting a lot of projects completed or underway, and just trying to go through some of the bigger items. Recreation, the window repair, that's currently being in the planning stage. With that, I mean, we have departments here. If you have any specific questions about projects, I would defer to them.
Questions?
No questions then? Okay, thank you.
Well, okay. No further questions for Alan. All right, next, please.
Item 2, discuss of road conditions on Brindley Court. Councilman Burns.
Yeah, Mayor, if I would, I'd give you a little background information before we start there. I guess everybody got a letter here in front of you from the temporary city manager. With the thing blacked out, I think under it says, and then refused to listen and hung up. Evidently, the city manager has a problem with the council addressing our taxpayers. Miss Debbie Sennard, sitting in the audience, had called me with concerns on Brindley Drive, which she resides. And I went out and looked at it, and it's probably the worst street I've seen in the city of Lewisburg. And then the city manager wanted to send me a letter, says, I cannot believe that you think every day-to-day decision to operate the city must be run by you. If this were the case, you would need to be available all day, every day, and there would be no need for a city manager. If you have read the city charter, and I think you know, your job is set policy and implement day-to-day the city. I think this was very rude, uncalled for, when only I did is respond to a taxpayer's inquiry. You did not call me, you did not inform me. You talked to Miss Linda about that situation, and I think a mail carrier had talked to her, and that's in my ward. So I think you're very out of line. So before, with that said, I want to talk about Brindley Drive. We have the two developers here tonight, and I understand it's a work session. And we have one of the homeowners out there. And I would like somebody to kind of explain to me, since I don't think any of us were here at that time, about the street actually being taken in by the city or not taken into the city. Seems like there's a little conflict on what people think. Some people passed away, some people are no longer here. I'm looking at a resolution 18-37, signed by the mayor and the city recorder, that the council authorized to placement of street lights along Brindley Drive, 4 LED street lights. Now, if it wasn't a city street, why would we be putting street lights there? And then I'm looking at like I say, I wasn't here, and I don't know what on. And I'm looking at a recorded plat, which I got from the Register of Deeds yesterday. It was signed by the, I can't read some at their small office. It was Linda Hazel at the time, Secretary of the Planning Commission, Jerry Gordon, the surveyor, both developers, the Director of Public Works, Robert Biggers, Certificate of Approval for Sewer Systems, Certificate of Approval for Water Systems, and it's a recorded plat. So it's my understanding, and please, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, if a recorded plat has got a street on it, and we're putting street lights on it, why is it not a city street?
I believe Mr. Hutto has addressed that. Thomas, would you?
I just handed him that flat.
Right, in any annexation, rezoning, subdivision development, one of the final steps in the process is the acceptance of the utilities, the roads, the infrastructure essentially, and you can have some of it accepted by the city and some of it not, or some of it is pending on final completion. Most of the times, developers have to put up a bond at some point, either at the beginning of the construction project, partway through, once they've installed these utilities that will cover the finishing of the streets especially, or the connection of electric meters or water meters, if they're not already done. And so you can quite often have a street that is 80% complete, houses get built, and either the developer doesn't take the final steps to get that accepted as a city street, or they don't complete it. And usually there's it's part of there's a resolution that formally accepts streets as they're completed by a city. And I've seen, there are a couple of cases I'm familiar with in Columbia that the same thing, the developer, they essentially put the base and the binder down and they never put the top coat on, and the city doesn't accept it. And you can, technically, they're not supposed to allow the completion of building permits. They can issue them, but maybe they can't issue the certificates of occupancy when construction's complete if either if that bond isn't in place or if the road's not complete. In this case, this certainly says that there was likely going to be a bond.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Just for my own knowledge. If there is this document is on file, which it was, at the county, if everything was not accepted at the time, how do you know? I
Well-
mean, shouldn't there be some notation or some attachment?
No, because they're not going to go
Something-
back and change something on a plat.
Well,
They're-
but then why would you piecemeal it? You see what I'm saying? Why would you say, well, I'll accept this block and over here, but not this?
Well, because I don't know, but that's something that's still going on where, I can't think of the one we were looking at
How
last year.
would we ever keep up with that?
Well, that's the job of the planning department, to keep up with who's got bonds issued, are they still in effect, does bonds expire, or letters of credit expire? And to make sure that, the developers come back and put down that final coat of asphalt, because,
But then would the planning commission be willing to sign off on the entire subdivision like this?
they would, because they're.
Even if they know that they didn't accept a road?
Well, the thing is here, is this road would be accepted had the final coat of asphalt been put on it, or had there been the actual bond money deposited, and so this plat was approved and recorded with, the understanding that either the developer was going to finish that final top coat, or that they'd actually deposited sufficient funds for the city to do it. And then, let's see.
Okay, additional questions,
2018
comments?
Yeah,
20,000
couple
was a
things,
really
mate.
good, probably a good cost for that.
Now, so the city doesn't have anything to state where they did or did not put up a bond or a check or anything, right?
No, well, we searched, we could not find any record of receipt of any type of bond or cash surety.
How far back did you look?
burns off the top of my head. It was quite a few years, though.
Yeah, because in the past, as a city, and somebody knows this, I wasn't here,
Who's this?
have they ever accepted a check and just put it in the vault and held it?
Yeah.
I know it's before
Yeah, I
you
don't
were here.
know. I mean, that's not
Jerry
since I've
Group
been
signed it,
here. We
August of
receive a check, we'll deposit it.
2018.
We had a similar situation about a year ago, where a developer put up $20,000 a check, and we deposited it right away and posted it to, customer deposit escrow account. And when it was done, we refunded the developer his money plus any interest.
Yeah, I think I
So,
remember that.
that's the way it should work.
Right, right. If it's, but this goes back a while, so, I mean, I don't want the burden to be, I want the burden to be on the city and the developers. And, if some mistakes were made, I think we need to right it, because that road is one of the worst unless somebody's seen it
It's awful.
in the town. I'm sure, Ricky, you went by there, I'm sure.
Of course, I used to live on Southview, and I lived on Southview before it was, those houses were extended, and that was 2018.
Yeah.
So it's been prior to 2018 then.
Part of that. I don't know, I personally, just me, thinks the city, has some responsibility in this. It's kinda like who said, she said, they said, he said. Mayor, could I go out of order and just ask the developers a couple of
No,
questions?
I don't, I prefer not.
Okay, then I ask this to be on the agenda for next week then.
Okay.
Give the developers opportunity to speak, and the homeowner. So if that's okay with everybody? Everybody good?
I have just one thing, just as a matter of record. Barbara, where it said that I emailed you about the road, just to clarify, it was not this lady that phoned me. It
Okay.
was a mail carrier that phoned me originally because she was having to get out of her mail truck to even deliver mail over there. She couldn't pull up close enough to the mailbox to be able to put the mail in the box. So that's how I got involved with it. It wasn't the same lady.
Right, well, I just knew.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, I just knew that you had spoke with me.
Yep.
I do have a letter here in this separate file that's from Planning and Zoning, and that says the city of Lewisburg is doing its due diligence, and this was before me, in gathering more information about Brindley Court. A future meeting will be held to further the matter. That's why when I took that letter, I did all of the research that I did, that I felt like that was all of the research that could be done. I went back to every former manager of Planning and Zoning that could talk to me, and then all of the other steps to try to prove that it was our road or that we'd accepted it somewhere. I could not find anything, and that's why.
What was that letter, David?
This is dated March the 26th, 2025.
Did you get this report, plat we discussed?
I did
yesterday?
not get that plat,
Okay.
no.
Mr. Hutto can either give it to you, or y'all can have a copy.
So nothing that we could find anywhere in the files, in any of the minutes or any of the records said that we had accepted Brindley Court. It is, I have also ridden the road. I know that it's terrible. When we finished our complete investigation, it was decided that we would ask Mr. Hutto to write the developers and say that we gave them an opportunity to bring anything that proved that the road had been accepted, and they've not brought me anything yet. They may have something, and I may get something tomorrow from them, but I have nothing at this time.
You got anything in the city that proves that we did accept it?
I don't think you can prove a negative, but possibly.
Again, these two gentlemen were building houses here when nobody else, the big developers, wasn't here. And now we got big developers, so, everybody needs to understand that, they've done a lot for the Lewisburg and the community, and the homeowners there, they bought, I'm assuming, not speaking for the young lady, but they bought, the homes expecting city services.
I don't have a problem with them having them if it's legitimate for the city to pay for them. asked the interim city manager, I do not feel that I could illegally pave a road that does not belong to the city. And it's my understanding that the road does not belong to the city. And that's the only reason I haven't done anything toward helping with the situation. If it's not a city road, my comparison is it would be like me saying, oh, while y'all are out there, go down there and pave my driveway. Or go down there and pave.
Well, you said that, and then Mayor, this is my last statement. And you also said, well, if I pave it, indicate to me that you'll let everybody know that this road is tax dollars, is your quote word, and I told you it wouldn't be my self-paving the road, it'd be the council, and it will be
Right.
the council making the decision, not the city manager on this.
If the council makes the decision, then it will be the council making the decision that you have in some way adopted the road, or you have taken the road on as your responsibility, at which point, when you have that in writing for me, I will say to the, if I'm still in this position when that happens, I will say, put that on the list to be paved and tended to. But until the council accepts that road, I do not feel I could legally say pave that road or do anything to help. I think legally, I would be violating the law if I did that. And
Well,
my
nobody's
stand,
asking you to make that decision.
well, that's what I'm saying. So my
Nobody's asking
stand
you.
right now, well, somebody did.
So Mayor, without objection, I'd like to place this on the agenda again next week, and maybe we can get a estimated quote of what it would cost to whatever's needed on that road. And if the other council gentlemen get a chance, if they could ride by and look at the road, I'd greatly appreciate it. And
I done seen the road.
You see it?
Yeah, I gave her Linda's information to call her, 'cause she
Oh,
called
Well,
me.
we
yeah.
need,
The
we
post-
need,
so-
we need at least 3 to agree to put it on the agenda.
I would like to say there's an estimate in here that was
Yeah.
gotten in the
It's
spring.
up to date estimate.
Well, it was an April estimate. I don't know how, it was in April,
Well, 3 people nodded. You
How
want
much
to say
was the
yes?
estimate?
$60,000.
So,
To put it in condition to be paved and to pave it. It
well, my
takes both.
question is there agreement that we're gonna put it on the council agenda for Tuesday?
Mayor, I don't even know. You may say, if a councilman wants something on the agenda, I certainly.
Well, that's what I'm asking,
think
is everybody in
either-
agreement with-
Either individual
Pardon me.
person has a right to put it on there.
What now?
Each individual councilman should have the right to put it on the council meeting.
Okay, I don't,
It doesn't need
Mr.
to
Hutto,
take-
is that
Sorry.
so, or is it has to be a majority?
To put something on the agenda?
In this case,
I don't think so.
While Mr. Hutto's looking, can I just say one little more thing, just one, promise? I'd like us to decide, is it Brindley Court or Brindley Drive? This document says Brindley Drive. This document says Brindley Court.
Brindley Court.
This says Brindley Court. So can we all agree it's Brindley Court?
I changed all of mine to Brindley Court because somebody told me it was court, not
So
drive.
while Mr. Hutto's
Okay.
researching, do we have the majority of council agree to put it on
Google says court, but
the agenda?
I don't mind listening to people speak.
I don't have a problem with it.
okay, then it'll be on the agenda. That's all we needed, that's all I was asking for, was there a majority that wanted it on the
Well,
agenda?
we'll need to
And-
come
and
to
I
some
thought that
sort of
that's
resolution on
what
it.
we that was necessary, and I could be wrong, but, so, it'll be on the agenda.
And again, these minutes here say Brindley Drive.
As Mr. Hutto said, it is not a city street, is that correct? Is that in writing?
Yeah, all of the things that we checked, cannot find anywhere that it's listed as a public street. I do have the road inventory where it's listed as a private street.
Can I ask, well, I'm gonna, I guess I lied, I'm sorry, I'm gonna ask
Go
one
ahead.
more thing.
Go ahead.
This whole streetlight thing, when the streetlights went in, that was about the time that that plat was filed. If somebody, a councilman came and said, y'all, I wanna put streetlights on this road over here. And somebody said, but that's not our road, we can't put streetlights on that. I mean, what's the rule for streetlights? I mean, when somebody came in and said, can we put streetlights up there? Wouldn't we have wanted to know that that road had been done and accepted and
Well,
was ours?
I would say at the time that streetlight ordinance was done, this was in the process of approval. The plat had come before the planning commission and the subdivision was in state construction. So having the resolution to add streetlights and connect them to electric shows that it was, there's an intention for this to be a city road. However, there's not that final step in the process where they put down the final paving coat and the city also had a resolution accepting the road. And it's
But we don't
unfortunate,
have
but-
that resolution.
Right, we don't have that resolution. If we had that resolution, I think the street would probably be.
We
paved
have
and
on the
maintained,
streetlights.
But we have it on the streetlights. But
And the
they were-
streetlights are not on the road right away. They are
and
on,
And the streetlights would have been installed before that final, road surface was installed. It might have been installed before a large majority of the houses were completed or, in process, because, those utilities get put in as the subdivision gets built, but I think there's,
Well, like I say, that was in September of 2018, so that was about the same, this was accepted by the planning commission in August.
and it.
Mayor, wouldn't the
and it
streetlights
also
be on the
says
easement, the road easement? Because we don't put utility poles in the yards, do we?
no, you do. You do. But the fact is, the final coat was not put on. There's no question about that, is there?
Not, it's my understanding that that's why it was never accepted. The final coat was never put on.
And
The one that would make it acceptable for the city to accept the road.
That's like if the sanitary sewer, if they left off a manhole, then the water department wouldn't accept the line.
And a resolution accepting the road would come, at some point after the majority of the construction's done, because usually the developers won't put in that final coat until 90% of the houses are built, because it'll just
Because of the truck
it'll
traffic?
just get torn up by the truck traffic. And
Exactly, that's the reason that the planning commission recommended that, to not to put the top coat
And that's,
until it had big truck, cement truck traffic to find the soft spots in it, so that on the final course, it could be corrected and then accepted.
So you remember a conversation about that?
In planning commission, yes, we discussed that.
About Brindley Court?
No, not about Brandon Court.
Oh.
But that was,
Misunderstood, I'm sorry.
that, it wasn't a few years ago that developers were not required to pave at all. And then we could no longer, or the city could no longer afford to pave. And we didn't have, several years ago, updated plans to what type of, how many inches of base asphalt and how much of topping. All of that now is in part of our specifications. And like I say, the only part, if I'm understanding this correctly, the only thing that was put down was the base and not the top.
If you'd let us speak to it, we could clear up a whole lot of it. It's just kind of mumbo jumbo what you're describing now, because it's not what happened during the case. And I would think a workshop would be the best place to do it, where the members would have time to think about what we're
Mr.
doing.
Porch, you are out of order.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, the council has the right to call on the audits, don't we? Or Hutto need to answer that.
It's the mayor's meeting.
all I've ever heard from the work session is it's time for the mayor and the council to talk together about items that may or may not be on the council agenda for the next week, and it's always excluded. the public other than to watch it.
Well, I mean, that's, just because,
Under Robert's Rules of Order, I believe it is my prerogative to run the meeting. Am I incorrect? Am I overstepping my grounds?
we're not asking you that, Mayor. I'm asking you to go out of order and if I can call on some of the audience. That's my question.
And I'm declining that.
Okay. Then sorry for y'all's inconvenience if y'all come back next week at 6. It'll be on the agenda. When it could probably been settled tonight. I'm done, Mayor.
Thank you. Barbara, do you have something to add?
No, the only other thing on my list of things was at that time, the letter that I'd read you earlier, the top paragraph says Southview Drive will be dedicated to the city of Lewisburg once it meets all of the requirements. Goes through the dedication process, which says formally accepted by the city council. And then the other item, the city of Lewisburg is still looking to due diligence on Brindley Court. So Southview, which is attached to that road, was told if it was ready.
Already been paid, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it said if it was ready, it would be, if it was accepted by the council, it would be paid. And so it met the requirements.
It's been
I'm
paid.
assuming that the second one did not meet the requirements, or somebody would have had a record of that somewhere.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Clint, would you, I've invited Clint to make a comment on, to update the council on a matter.
Good evening. For those who I have not met, my name is Clint Williams, ECD Director. After speaking with the mayor and Ms. Woods, I was hoping to bring something to your attention. So a large portion of what I've been doing in the first week is responding to old emails, old correspondence, things that I was not privy to, and I'm just trying to catch myself up. One of those conversations was 218 West Commerce Street. It's the city's own empty building right up here by the Pregnancy Resource Center. There is someone that is still interested, who has came down, met with me. He's interested in leasing it out, but I had no prior knowledge to what the council wanted to do with it, if you want to do anything with it, if you rather sell it, if you rather lease it, if you want to retain ownership. I can direct the conversation any way that you see fit, but I think it would just be beneficial to the potential customer and myself if I just knew your thought process, or if you're open to anything, or if you want to steer it in a certain direction. So that's what I'm asking for tonight. It's just to maybe bring up things that were talked about that I wasn't privy to, or it might have not, the building may have never even made it to the council meeting in the first place.
Just one question. I don't need to know the name, but what would the potential use be? Could you,
Sure.
if you're not at liberty to say that, don't.
No, I think it's okay. I've talked to the potential client. He's very upfront and forthcoming. He is proposing a co-work space.
A what?
A co-work space,
Oh.
co-working
Shared
space.
space.
That has been talked about for several years.
It has been. I think there's some frustrating on his part that it might have never got the ball rolling, but that's what I'm here trying to do tonight. The second floor, if goes through for leasing, would be like more of white collar and attorneys, architects, maybe a space for that nature, where the first floor would be a mix of meeting rooms, small office, conference areas, you name it. We can kind of see fit because you own it. The potential customer is looking at a 12-month purchase option. All this is obviously preliminary, but he seems very interested in wanting us to bring it up. And I just felt like I owed him, for my next future conversations, to have a direct path to speak to him about.
How's the heating and cooling in it?
So I've toured the building, and then I've also reviewed it again with the client. We've walked all through it. I don't think anything was on when I was in it, or if I was, it was very cold.
I think.
So
Didn't
now,
that building have
I
a heating
had-
and cooling issue?
Yeah, and Brandon may have done some preliminary work
Yeah.
or estimation.
So-
Did you, Brandon?
For the building itself, we remodel the bathrooms.
Come on up, sir, so we hear you. I can't hear you. Thank you.
I might need a cough drop, hang on. We had to do some remodel work downstairs because we had a water leak. That's really the only work we done. Now, I was told to go on and shut the building down. That means basically turn the water off, gas, everything is completely off in that building. I don't even know if the electric's even on.
electric is on. So we could turn the lights on.
So the electricity is still on?
The electricity is, but everything else is off.
Was it gas heat or electric heat?
Gas.
Okay. If we chose to, excuse me, go ahead,
I'm sorry.
Linda, go ahead.
How did the city come by this property? How did we,
We are talking about the one, the old, CID building, yeah.
Yeah.
That property, I believe, was sold to us for like $10 or something years ago. Basically donated to us, but there had to be some kind of a transaction,
It was the
if
technical
I ain't
building.
mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm wrong
It was
with that.
It was the technical.
They
building.
train.
It wasn't much, I know we didn't get much for it.
They provided training, industrial type training,
Is-
kind of like they do down in Pulaski.
The Votech,
Yeah.
that's what it
Chief,
was.
Chief, when your guys were in there, wasn't there a problem with the building?
There was several that I can remember. I think the unit for the upstairs is not that old, but there was a problem, and downstairs there was all kind of problems.
It was costing us a fortune to heat it.
Yeah. The windows themselves, the heat was going in, and there's a weak spot in the floor. If you remember, Brandon, there's a few spots where, it really gives. There's carpet above it, but
It's gonna need some attention.
it needs a lot of work.
So this potential leaseor is willing to do that, or?
That's gonna be for future conversations.
Okay.
depending on-
Some people can drop in August, but some people can't.
They're
I think
employees.
that's a violation of.
Well, they're employees, so.
I don't think.
It's-
Y'all did that.
It's without a shadow of a doubt, the building needs work. So that was one point of my conversation, see if you want to mess with it. Now, I don't have any issue going forward. I'll be more than willing to get an inspection. I'll be more than willing to get an appraisal. If we can work out in the budget, we can see exactly what we're looking at, then I can reconvene. Or I can go, if you're open to the 12-month lease, I can go ahead and start working that path with the potential customer as well. He's very interested in the building. He's seen it multiple times. He's very aware of the issues that the building has, and he is still willing to go forward. Or he's at least showing interest.
He's willing to make the repairs, or?
That I do not know. I do
Well,
not
so
know
you're
at
gonna
this-
investigate
He
that?
has not asked, at this point in our conversation, he has not asked the city to make any repair on the building.
Okay. Now, if the council chooses to sell the property, I assume we would have to, Mr. Huddle declare it surplus property, and then we would have to take bids on it.
That's correct. We'd have to declare it surplus and then take bids on it.
Can we deed it to the industrial board, let them sell it, the money returns back to us?
We probably could, and it maybe, Clint should, Mr. Williams should talk with the potential buyer about that as part of a pilot process, because that might more easily help facilitate that for the industrial board, because it would be, a pretty,
but there's no pilot involved.
Yeah, that,
well, he could apply for one.
no. That was, we talked about that at the industrial board. The industrial board can retain ownership without a pilot. So I don't think the pilot would have to come before us. I don't know why we'd give tax incentives for pilot. The industrial board can retain ownership and sell it with the money reverting back to the city without a pilot.
They could, but it would also, appear to be a pretty basic sidestep of the charter requirement, simply to deed something to the industrial board so they could sell it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen and we couldn't do it. It's just,
If there's any thought process that the city would like just to see options, I would at least like to look into the price of an inspection and appraisal just to see what we're looking at.
You've
If
heard,
you want- Go ahead, Mayor.
you've heard the conversation, you got several other scenarios you can check out, and I'm sure you'll come back
Well,
in a reasonable amount of time with some more options.
Mayor, I'm not sure we answer. I'll just give my opinion, y'all too. I would be open to, a lease as is where it is,
okay.
no repairs. And some of us may wanna sell it at a predetermined price, others may not wanna sell city property, so I'd be interested in both scenarios.
Well, one thing the building's got going for it is square footage. It's a fairly large building. And, Mr. Hutto, maybe we can discuss the IDB transfer, either before or at the next meeting?
Certainly.
Okay.
And
'Cause I personally, I think that's a good potential too for the IDB to maybe take it on.
Yeah, but no pilot.
I'm in favor of leasing it if they'll do the repairs.
I'll extend the invitation and hopefully here in the next, few council meetings, the potential client will come and do a presentation himself. Because, that's one thing he has mentioned, he does want to attend a council meeting and just give you his history and his background. All right, I'm grateful to be here, thank you.
Thank you, Clint. You've hit the ground running, and I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Can I bring up a road that needs striping?
Okay.
Is this city road?
Huh?
Is it a city road?
It should be, it's First Avenue.
First Avenue. Where's First Avenue?
The one going
By the old, back of the old Kroger building. Is that one you?
yeah,
By,
One that goes up.
That's way out there. Dude, I'd have never guessed that.
huh?
That's
That's
crazy.
You on Second.
Man, I'm over in the hood, Second, Third, Fourth Avenue.
You on Second.
That's all I mean, man. First Avenue, I just never thought about it. I never thought about First Avenue. I guess it
Well,
comes up in the
Well, I came
conversation.
down the other day, and it had stripes on it one time, that box, you can't see them.
By Kroger's. On
We-
the side
Behind
road.
Kroger, behind,
Old Kroger,
the old Kroger,
yeah, the old,
behind
Man,
Family Dollar.
okay, that's why I ain't, okay,
By Rock Creek Park.
Yeah.
okay.
By the water
Stripes.
department, the police
Yeah.
stations.
Behind,
What's it gonna cost, Ron?
I don't know.
well, all you have to do is we have a specific bid, so you know exactly how much it'll cost, but it's not in the budget. So there would have to be,
Then go Old Kroger behind.
what's the Alan, what's the last time we extended White Drive?
First Avenue is
How'd we do that?
not a big road.
I know we did, Finley Beach Road, we used our discretionary money.
Discretionary money, I'm trying to remember, what we did.
How long is the road?
From one stop to,
I think it
town.
was so minimal, we just absorbed it in our operating
I don't know, is it about a mile or, who'd you say, about a mile?
Well, what was the bid, $800 a mile?
9?
No,
Cost about $900 to
for each stripe, you're gonna double line it, so is that,
that'd be like 1,800, if it was 900.
what,
Double stripe.
what did we did on White Drive recently? You remember that number? I thought it was less than $1,000.
Yeah, I think that's what I thought, around 900 for double stripe.
Wasn't a mile, I mean, it wasn't even a mile, so it was.
So
But we can get
Came
on,
out close to like a mile if you just single stripe, whatever, but because it was double, it's almost like.
yeah, you got, yeah, it's per line. Brandon can get the exact distance. We can just, you wanna discuss that at the next, at Tuesday?
yeah.
Everybody in agreement?
Gotta have a quote. Can't make a decision without it.
We know
Well,
what's gonna
like I
cost.
say, we know exactly what it's gonna cost once we get the mileage.
Right.
So, everybody in agreement with that?
Fine with me.
Anything else?
Are we gonna talk about the 21st, Gina? Have you talked to Shannon?
He's the only one that and we had to start the meeting, but,
Do we need to adjourn the meeting before we do that?
Mr. Hutto,
What now?
can we bring up a potential date for a work session and a special
Okay.
call?
I don't know that we need to adjourn to do that, we can just.
Okay, that's all I was
Okay.
asking, making sure.
Okay,
I wouldn't think there would be a problem with that.
okay.
21st. What day?
So we are proposing January 21st at noon for a work session, probably an hour and a half, and then following with a special call to narrow down some candidates for city manager. And we polled everybody, but since somebody was running a little right on time, Shannon, we didn't get to you.
You had 5 minutes, I can tell you that.
So,
Shannon, what time you gotta cut loose, 2 or 3?
Well, I got a little boy got in trouble about 1:50 is what time I will have to leave.
Okay, is it possible, if we don't get, we just lack a little bit, that we could recess for, how long does it take for you to run your route?
When can you be back?
It varies, man. I gotta go to, Cornsville, so it's usually about 3:30. I'm usually back at 3:30.
Well,
Four
could we
o'clock,
start,
it just
could we
goes-
start
Start early?
before noon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I
what
mean,
I was
start
gonna
at
say.
10 or,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, 11 or 11:30 or,
11's fine, 10:30's fine with me.
I'm open all day.
let's do it at 10. Let's start at 10 and give
Or she'll have
ourselves
to check
enough
with
time.
Patrick.
I'll have to
Mr.
check,
Barnes.
yeah. Y'all have to check with him,
As
either-
early as 10?
10 or
Yeah,
11.
I'm fine all day.
Could you all do 10?
I might be up by then, yeah.
You might be up.
So have we made a decision?
Well, we got
What's that, the 21st?
Yeah, you gotta check with Mr. Patrick Marsh, if he can make it at 10.
Oh,
And
that's
Even
right,
11.
Patrick Marsh.
Even 11:30 would help, because that would give him.
Thank you. Yeah, he'll respond real quick. I'll
Let's
let-
try 11. Everybody, can we,
I'm free all day, it doesn't matter, so.
is
Unless-
11 good
Unless
with
Debbie
everybody?
has me doing something at 1:30.
11's fine.
Okay, let's try for 11 if he's, can do it. That's contingent on him being
Are you
able
up then,
to
Mr.
be here, correct?
Yes, so that will be a work session and probably an hour and a half work session and then a special call.
Yeah.
So
Now, is that the budget meeting, Dave?
I checked with Debbie and talked to her right before we started, and so far they haven't got anything for the agenda, correct, Debbie?
What,
Nothing?
excuse me, what's a special call for? If we're gonna work and we're gonna narrow it down?
The special call is for y'all to decide which candidates are going to receive an
We
interview.
can't do that under the work session.
No, because that's a vote.
Okay.
And it's got to be a special call, so you will poll. Work session is to narrow down the most popular votes between y'all, because it's candidate A, candidate B, candidate C.
Is Mr. Marsh going to run that meeting?
Yes.
And so he'll, I guess I'm just wondering, without knowing what the process will be or the agenda, it's hard to judge how much time
It
we
is.
might need.
I mean, it is. That's why I tried to get the books out to y'all where y'all can really study the resumes, the work experience. Do they have, local government? And hopefully with that being studied and reviewed, when we go to work session, y'all will have kind of in mind what candidates are your top pick.
So we bring
Hopefully.
we bring our rankings with us, like I think, number X is the best.
I would bring my rankings with y'all,
Okay.
but then also Mr. Marsh is going to get up
He'll
and
have
speak
some.
and do his recommendations. And, but still, at the end of the.
Yeah, he's gonna rank them.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it will be
Our
y'all's decision.
Yeah.
Question for the potential candidates. If we bring up their names, are you gonna contact, I
You
don't
will.
know. But here's my thoughts is, if they have a job now, I've not looked in here, so I don't know who's in there. If they presently have a job, are they giving our permission to bring up their names in public?
With the special call, it will not be names. It will be candidate A, candidate B, candidate C, whatever one. It stays confidential until y'all narrow down what candidate you want. Then when we contact them and they accept an interview, then that's when it becomes public.
So we narrow them down as candidates at the special call, A, B,
Yes.
C, or D.
Yes.
Then we have another
Contact.
meeting to interview.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're protected for this meeting, we're,
Yes,
okay, okay.
yes.
Okay, anything else? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Motion. Was that Ronald, did I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. We stand adjourned, thank you all.